I wanna feel something real. I wanna feel something real. What is good, chat? What is good? What is good? Ooh, ooh. You're gonna have to repeat after me. Ooh, ale, ale, ooh, ale, 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 tiki tamba, le tiki tamba, wassa, 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 ooh, all the way, alawa, ooh, all the way, alawa, ooh, ale, ooh, ale, tiki tamba, le tiki tamba, wassa, 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 ooh, all the way, alawa, ooh, ale, ooh, ale, tiki tamba, le tiki tamba, wassa, 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 ooh, ale, alawa. Hi, I'm Chris Valenti. I am very mentally unstable. But I am your beacon. I am your Lisan al-Gaib. I am pointing the way! Anyway, I left my coffee over there. Hold on, let me grab a coffee. All right, gang. All right, gang. Listen. I don't know what sort of people I don't know what sort of people you are. Okay? I have no idea what sort of people you are. But you know who I am. You know who you are. But the question is, who are we? All right. Make your own version of it. I should, so that it's not AI slop. I should. We are Charlie Kirk, we carry the flame. We'll fight for the gospel and honor his name. We are Charlie Kirky, we pop the perky. Yeah. You miss Bella Ciao? I'll give you some Bella Ciao. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Una mattina mi sono alzato, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato l'invasor. Oh partigiano, portami via. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Partigiano, portami via. Che mi sento di morir. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Huh? You guys want to see my story? Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Sonne Zander, in Gaso, Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire, se muoio, partigiano, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, se muoio, partigiano.
كل واحد فيكم بيقدر يكون.
Bro got 3 queen reactors and thought it was worth posting. I got 7. I got 7 queen reactors, the equalizer, and the Jupiter blueprint all in one fucking game, bro. All around me are familiar faces.
I do one impression.
Uh-huh. Caught your negative thoughts. Let me see what they say.
Industrial revolution has created the modern slave.
Товарищи, рабоче-крестьянская революция, о необходимости которой все время говорили большевики, совершилась!
The kisses of the sun were sweet, I didn't blink, I let it
О
in.
необходимости
Like an exotic dream, the radio playing songs that I have never heard, I don't know what to say.
Okay, enough of my Instagram story. If you want to see the rest of my story, go to it, because it's asinine, it's propaganda, it's indoctrination, it's radicalization. I'm doing everything I can to get into the minds of the youth and turn them into anti-capitalists before the Great Revolution is here. Thank you for becoming a member for 4 months, Charm City Media MD. Bro, are you going live tonight for Trump's speech? The people need you live tonight to digest that bullshit. Long live the OAL! I will, in fact, be there. It's my favorite leftist grifter. Hi, how are you? My name is Chris Valenti. I am a leftist grifter. My job is to radicalize the youth and propagandize them into becoming anti-capitalists for the incoming revolution. Together, we, the proletariat, will be able to rise up against our bourgeoisie oppressors. We can only do that if we unite! 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 Я готов отвечать, товарищ. Rozwiet. Желание. Живой. No! Mommy milkers. All right. Bro was on every watch list. Brothers, sisters, themders. I am a 14,000-year-old reptilian shapeshifter. I have been sought after my entire existence. You can't catch the smoke. You can't catch smoke. I move, I'm a wisp. Anyway. What we need to talk about today is this Vanity Fair article. This Vanity Fair article is so good that I paid for it. You hear that? I paid for it with my money, which means you need to pay me in order to see it. Thank you for becoming a member for 6 months, Onyx. I appreciate you. Hello, everyone. I will be washing my... What? What? Huh? Hold on, I gotta text Maddie. I didn't text her good morning. I gotta... I'm trying to get good at throat singing, and I'm not. I'm trying to get really good at, like, Mongolian throat singing. What the fuck did I just read? Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me... What? 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 Can I get some, computer, show me this woman's tits. No, I'm kidding. All right. Let's get to work, gang. Let's get to work. What did that message remind you of, Maddie? Because I'm a freak. Because I'm a freak. Nobody here got a bidet? I do. I have a bidet and a squatty potty. I shit like a king. Listen, guys, there are only a few great truths in this life. A good shit, a good fuck, and a good meal, okay? You gotta perfect the art of those three things, because anything other than that is not guaranteed, unless it's death and taxes. Those are guaranteed, okay? You gotta have a bidet, you gotta have a squatty potty, you gotta shit like a king, you gotta know how to cook, you gotta know how to fuck. This is the way. And I am the Lisan al-Gaib. Bro is blabbing. I will throw you off of a high mountain. Like a Greek child born with a sixth toe. Fa! Like, fa! Just gone. Stalin. This is all wisdom. I'm teaching you the way. I'm teaching you the way. Thank you for becoming a loyalist. I appreciate that. Who's your favorite character in the Fallout TV show? Probably the guy who's like the in the Brotherhood of Steel. I like the guy in the Brotherhood of Steel. Pretty cool guy. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we have to dive in. Okay. I haven't read this at all yet. This is a 2-part article. It is very long. Should we read the whole thing? This is part 1. Look how long it is. This is part 2. I think we should read it. Let's also get No Lip Levitt's reaction to it. Hold on. We gotta get No Lip Levitt saying that the thing is fucking, that the whole thing is bullshit. Oh my god, look how they're running defense for her already. They're like, look how pretty she looks. Oh yeah? Let me see a top response. Please have her picture. Please be it. Please be it. Do we not have... There it is. Look at those fucking... Look at those lip injection marks, bro. Avi's here. Hi, Avi. Look at that shit, dude. Look at that shit, dude. She's my age, mind you. Me and her are the same age, bro. We are the same age. Listen, I'm not one to bash looks. I fucking am. This is disgusting. This is fucking disgusting. I sure as shit fucking am. This is disgusting. I hope she cried when she saw that photo. She definitely fucking did. Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
Your question directly. This is, unfortunately, another example of disingenuous reporting, where you have a reporter who took the chief of staff's words wildly out of context, did not include the context those conversations were had within, and then...
So she said it, but we didn't have the context. We just didn't have the contexts. Do you guys hear that? Do you guys hear that? There's somebody up there with a fucking electrical saw. There's somebody up there with a fucking electrical saw. You gotta be fucking kidding me. You gotta be fucking kidding me, bro. Typical upstairs neighbor behavior. Granted, I have gotta be the worst. Avi, if you advertise Hassan Piker on my live stream while I am fucking live streaming, I'm gonna freak out. And then the next time I see Hassan, I'm going to sexually harass him. Okay? It's Mossad. All right. Rev up those fryers! Rev up those fryers! Alrighty, 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 alrighty. I think we should just dive in. Right? Should we just dive in? Is it video time? I believe it is. I'm gonna go. This is gonna be a short live, guys, because I'm gonna go live again once fucking Trump does his primetime speech to declare war on Venezuela. All right, let's do it. 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 What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Valenti VOD. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti. If you hear noises, that's because my upstairs neighbors are rat bastards and they're using an electrical saw. But that's not going to stop me from covering this new Vanity Fair article that is insane, and it has some of the best pictures I've ever seen. I mean, it's like a zoomed in shot on No Lip Levitt. You could see the fucking needle marks on her upper lip. Little Marco Rubio staring down at where his dick used to be. JD Vance just looking like the fat bumbling idiot he is. This bitch Susie Wiles, who was quite literally just Dolores Umbridge. I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but he's got Heinrich Himmler's haircut. This guy's just a Nazi. And then there's the Jewish Nazi. He did a great photo. He looks exactly like Joseph Goebbels. But this article is so scathing where they're dude, Susie Wiles, the chief of staff here, Trump's literal chief of staff, this woman said Trump has the mentality of a raging alcoholic drunk on power. She says that JD Vance is a wild far-right conspiracy theorist. Marco Rubio is literally begging for World War III. This creepy motherfucker, Stephen Miller, wants to rid the nation of 260 million people. Like, this article is so unbelievably scathing. Before we even dive in, I want you to hear No Lip Levitt's reaction to the article. Get a peek at this.
As for the Vanity Fair article, Michael, I'll take your question directly. This is, unfortunately, another example of disingenuous reporting.
That's how you know it's good reporting.
Where you have a reporter who took the chief of staff's words wildly out of context.
Oh, so it's just out of context. So she did say these things, but then when you take it a little bit out of context, it's always fucking out of context with these people. And then you go digging, you find the context, and it actually makes the whole thing fucking worse.
Not include the context those conversations were had within. And then further, I think the most egregious part of this article was the bias of omission that was clearly present. And we see a lot of this when dealing with the media every day. You will leave out important context, leave out comments and facts. You know, many people in this building spoke with that reporter, and those comments were never included.
Yeah. So she's saying it's missing context. Meanwhile, this is part one. This is part one. Okay? Here's part two. How much context could they possibly be fucking missing, No Lip? How could they possibly be missing context with articles this goddamn fucking long? It's egregious. It's egregious. Avi just said, by the way, this is the photographer. This is her style. They knew what they were going into. Let's get a look. This is the photographer. Yeah, no, this is the photographer's style. It's all zoomed in shots. Like, this is the style. They knew what they were going into. The problem is that nobody in the Trump regime is like smart. They cut corners. They probably didn't do their fucking research. They didn't know what they were getting into. Let's get the last of her reaction here.
In the story, probably because it didn't push this false narrative of chaos and confusion that the reporter was clearly trying to push. So what I'll say about our chief of staff, as you've seen from not just my...
I think you mean to say your soon-to-be former chief of staff, because I'm willing to bet everyone here $50 that Trump will fire Susie Wiles, the one who said that he's like raging, he has the mentality of a raging alcoholic drunk on power.
But also the entire cabinet and a groundswell of support from people on Capitol Hill who don't even.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're getting reports from inside the White House that behind Trump's back, they all make fun of him. They all think he's a fucking idiot. They insult him. They call him a elderly fat boy. Like, dude, like, we're not stupid, bro. You guys are just benefiting off of the Trump regime, gathering as much money as you can, and then you're all gonna flee to Prospera Island and the other billionaire cities that have no fucking laws. This is real. If you don't believe me, please look up Prospera Island. It is a billionaire city controlled by Peter Thiel and Mark Andreessen. It is a small island off the coast of Honduras called Roatan. They built a city, no police. You use cryptocurrency to buy everything. They do gene modification. It is literally a secret billionaire island. It exists. Look it up. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm telling you a fact. If you disagree with me, you're wrong and stupid.
Been work in this building about how incredible Susie Wiles has been to President Trump, and he's been able to accomplish so much because of his leadership and his tenacity, but also because of Chief of Staff Wiles's leadership and her ability to effectuate his agenda. So thank you.
Anyway, all right, so let's dive into the article here. This is going to be a pretty long one, so before we do, I'm going to give you some shameless plugs. Hi, how are you? I'm Chris Valenti. You're watching the Valenti VOD. If you're new here, let me introduce myself. I'm a dirtbag socialist. I'm from New York. My father served in Vietnam. My mother is from Long Island, so I've got a filthy fucking potty mouth, and there's nothing I hate more than fascism. When I was like 7 years old, my dad used to make me rewatch scenes of Saving Private Ryan where the medic is bleeding out going, "Mama, mama, mama," and he would replay it over and over again and go, "You see that, Chris? That's what war is like. You die bleeding out in the mud, screaming for your mother." So I learned pretty quickly that the United States military doesn't give a fuck about any of us, neither does the United States government. They simply want to profit off of our trauma and torture. So I hate this fucking government, but I love this fucking nation. If you want to help support this channel financially, because I have literally no advertisers, no sponsors, I've never had a conversation with a billionaire or a government, everything here is grassroots funded. So if you do want to support this channel financially, please do. You could buy merch like the Democratic Socialist poster. You could buy merch like the Constitusi mug. You could buy merch like the Duty Calls merch line with Tiny Donald right there getting ready to get shellacked. All of this is available down below. You can also click thanks down below to tip me directly. You can click join down below to become a member. You'll get access to member-only content, and you can become a patron on Patreon. It's important that you guys become patrons because I have been suspended on this platform before. Whenever I do get suspended, that stuff ends up going on Patreon. So thank you very much for 136,000 subscribers. Without further ado, let's just fucking dive into this crazy article. So, Susie Wiles, J.D. Vance, and the, quote, junkyard dogs, the White House Chief of Staff on Trump's second term, part 1 of 2. Throughout the first year of Donald Trump's second administration, Vanity Fair writer Chris Whipple has interviewed Wiles amid each moment of crisis. The Insider's account joins a portfolio of portraits for an unflinching, up-close look at power and peril. On the morning of November 4th, 2025, an off-year election day, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles was meeting in the Oval Office with the president and his top advisors, men she calls her, quote, core team, Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Stephen Miller, Deputy Chief of Staff. The agenda was twofold, ending the congressional filibuster and forcing Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro from power. As she related it later, President Donald Trump was holding forth on the filibuster when Wiles stood up and started for the door. Trump eyed her, quote, "Is this an emergency that you have to leave?" he demanded. It was nothing out of the sort, but Wiles left Trump guessing. She replied, "It's an emergency. It doesn't involve you." With that, according to Wiles, she departed the Oval Office. Wiles, wearing dark pants and a plain black leather top, met me in her office with a smile and a handshake. Over sandwiches from the White House mess, we talked about the challenges Trump faces. Throughout the past year, Wiles and I have spoken regularly about almost everything. The contents, the consequences, the Epstein files, ISIS brutal mass deportations, Elon Musk's evisceration of USAID, the controversial deployment of the National Guard to U.S. cities, the demolition of the East Wing, the lethal strikes on boats allegedly being piloted by drug smugglers, acts many have called war crimes, Trump's physical and mental health, and whether he will defy the 22nd Amendment and try for a third term. Most senior White House officials parse their words and speak only on background, but over many on-the-record conversations, Wiles answered almost every question I put to her. We have a quote here from Wiles. It says, "I'm not an enabler. I'm also not a bitch. I guess time will tell whether I've been effective. We often spoke on Sundays after church. Wiles, an Episcopalian, calls herself, quote, Catholic light. One time, we spoke while she was doing her laundry in Washington, D.C. rental. Trump, she told me, has an alcoholic's personality. Vance's conversion from a never-Trumper to MAGA acolyte, she said, has been sort of political. The vice president, she added, has been a conspiracy theorist for a decade. So what she's saying here is J.D. Vance is full-fledged, like, QAnon conspiracy theorist. J.D. Vance is a absolute psychopath. He is one of the subscribers of Curtis Yarvin and his Dark Enlightenment ideology. He cited Curtis Yarvin as one of his greatest inspirations. On top of that, the motherfucker is owned by Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel funded J.D. Vance's entire political campaign. He is a puppet for the tech broligarchs who want to replace democracy with tech feudalism. That is quite literally what J.D. Vance is. He is a Manchurian candidate. If you thought Trump was bad, just you fucking wait till we have President Vance. Russell Vought, architect of the notorious Project 2025 and head of the Office of Management and Budget, is a, quote, right-wing absolute zealot. When I asked her what she thought of Musk reposting a tweet about public sector workers killing millions under Hitler, Stalin, and Mao, she replied, I think that's when he's microdosing. She says he doesn't have firsthand knowledge. So in this article, what you're going to see is Susie Wiles says that Trump is drunk on power. J.D. Vance is an insane conspiracy theorist. And what else? Russ Vought is a straight up Nazi. And Elon Musk is a drug addict. Now, all of these things are 100% fucking true. Wiles is the most powerful person in Trump's White House other than the president himself. Unlike any chief of staff before her, she is a woman. The enforcer, Susie Wiles. The architect of President Donald Trump's 2024 election victory, now his White House chief of staff, is the daughter of the famous sportscaster Pat Summerall. As Wiles explains, her father was an alcoholic, so she knows how to deal with difficult men with big personalities. Quote, I make a specialty of it, she says with a laugh, as the crisis of Trump 2.0 pile up. From Signalgate to revenge and retribution to the Epstein files to alleged war crimes in the high seas, Wiles has worked at the center of the storm, the Trump whisperer who sees it all. Quote, I am entering my 9th year altogether, my 5th year day to day, she says, of working with Trump. So, it's hard to surprise me. I hope you understand, guys, that, like, as much as we hate everybody in the Trump regime, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Now, Susie Wiles may not know that what she is doing is eroding the very institution that she is a part of, but I don't give a fuck. I will fully support her spilling the beans, even if she's doing it out of, like, idiocy, not out of nobility, you know? Anyway. So many decisions of great consequence are being made on the whim of the president, and as far as I can tell, the only force that can direct or channel that whim is Susie, a former Republican chief told me. In most White Houses, the chief of staff is first among a bunch of equals. She may be first with no equals. I don't think there's anybody in the world right now that could do the job that she's doing, Rubio told me. He called her bond with Trump an earned trust. Vance described Wiles' approach to the chief's job, quote, there is the idea that people have that I think was very common in the first administration, that their objective was to control the president or influence the president or even manipulate the president because they had to in order to serve national interests. Susie just takes the diametrically opposite viewpoint, which is that she's a facilitator, that the American people have elected Donald Trump and her job is to actually facilitate his vision and make his vision come to life. Well, if that's the case, then she's not doing a very good job. She's spilling the beans on all of you. If that were the case, she would be saying that Donald Trump has never done any wrong ever, because the entire point of the Trump regime is to replace democracy with an authoritarian dictatorship. That is the literal point of this. So now we're going to start to get some of the close-up shots. Look at him. This is a soulless husk of a man. J.D. Vance the heir apparent. Once a fierce critic of Trump, who could be, quote, America's Hitler, Vance said in 2016, the vice president is now the highest ranking acolyte, a 180-degree transformation that Wiles calls sort of political. In the wake of his friend Charlie Kirk's assassination, Vance fucked Charlie Kirk's wife. No, it doesn't say that. I said that because JD Vance is plowing Erica Kirk's cheeks, dude. Anyway, allegedly! Anyway, in the wake of his friend Charlie Kirk's assassination, Vance spoke of the, quote, festering violence on the far left, helping fuel Trump's campaign of revenge and retribution against political enemies. Quote, a conspiracy theorist for a decade, according to Wiles, Vance keeps a close eye on the views of younger voters. That's because, I don't know if you guys know this, JD Vance is a groiper. He's actually such a groiper that he refused to condemn Nick Fuentes' literal verbal assaults of his wife. Don't forget, JD Vance has an Indian wife named Usha, right? And on top of that, one of his kids is named Vivek, right? Now, we have no fucking problem with that. I don't give a shit if you're race mixing. That's kind of the entire like fun of human existence, is to, you know, taste other cuisines and learn other languages and mingle with other cultures. That's the whole fucking point of the human existence. But Nick Fuentes went on this insane tirade calling JD Vance's very wife like some Indian slurs, some fucked up racist slurs, and calling him a race mixer and insulting his son for being named Vivek. And JD refused to condemn Nick because he agrees with Nick. JD Vance hates his fucking wife. He hates his fucking kids. He wishes they were white. He wishes that his wife was JD Vance. And he wishes that his wife was Erica Kirk. And he's going to replace his entire fucking family with a new white family. That's 100% going to happen. He is a Christian nationalist through and through. Anyway, let's keep on reading. At the same time, Trump has waged war on his political enemies, pardoned the January 6th rioters, firing nearly everyone involved in their investigation and prosecution, sued media companies into multi-million-dollar settlements, indicted multiple government officials he perceives as his foes, and pressured universities to toe his line. He's redefined the very way presidents behave, verbally abusing women, minorities, and almost anyone who offends him. Charlie Kirk's assassination in September turbocharged Trump's campaign of revenge and retribution. Critics have compared this moment to a Reichstag fire, a modern version of Hitler's exploitation of the torching of Berlin's parliament. Yes, this is absolutely the Reichstag fire, and just like the Reichstag fire, I have zero evidence to prove this. This is all alleged, but I firmly believe that Donald Trump and the nation of Israel together collaborated to assassinate Charlie Kirk, knowing that it would unironically stoke the fires of the flame. We are Charlie Kirk, we carry the flame. But by doing that, they riled up the entire Republican base into becoming bloodthirsty, rabies, foaming at the mouth fucking psychopaths who quite literally want to round up and execute every single dissident of the regime. On top of that, we are getting reporting that the whole NSPM 7 designation, the new definitions of terrorists, right? If you don't know this, the new NSPM 7 designation makes anybody who has anti-capitalist views, any anti-American views, any views against traditional family values, any of us, we are all terrorists now. According to the United States government, we are all fucking terrorists because we are not blindly loyal to the Fuhrer. And the regime was asked directly, will you rule out summary executions of these NSPM 7 designated American citizens? They refused to say no. They refused to say no. So I need you to understand, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. If you disagree with me, you are wrong and stupid. The Trump regime is preparing to execute people like me, people like Kyle Kulinski, Hassan Piker, anybody and everybody who is a dissident of the regime, they will be labeling as a terrorist. They are now setting the precedent for executing terrorists by starting with a foreign quote-unquote drug cartel with these fishermen in boats. This violence will make its way home if we do not stop them. I need you to understand this is not hyperbolic. They are going to try and kill us. Accept reality, bite the fucking bullet, man up, and wake up. They are going to try to kill us. Let's keep reading. Historically, the White House Chief of Staff is the president's gatekeeper, confidant, and executor of his agenda. That often means telling the president hard truths. Upon taking office, Ronald Reagan was hell-bent on reforming Social Security. James A. Baker III explained to him that cutting Social Security benefits was the third rail of American politics. Reagan pivoted to tax cuts, which was ultimately re-elected in a landslide. Donald Rumsfeld, Gerald Ford's chief, explained, quote, "The White House Chief of Staff is the one person besides his wife who can look him right in the eye and say, 'This is not right. You simply cannot go down that road.'" Here's the problem. Melania can't look Donald in his eyes. She can't, because she's constantly cheating on him with everybody that she can get access to, and he's constantly cheating on her with porn stars like Stormy Daniels. Granted, I don't think Donald is cheating anymore because he's so decrepit, old, and fat that his dick can't get hard. I'm willing to bet money. There's no fucking shot his dick can get hard. But yeah, no, they don't look each other in the eye, and she couldn't even say this because Melania doesn't fucking speak English because she's a cheap Slovenian hooker. Anyway, just how far will Trump veer off the guardrails of democracy? The question around Wiles' tenure under Trump has been whether she will do anything to restrain him. A better question is, does she want to? All right, so this article, it's going to go into very, very deep dives. We're not going to read the entire article because it's 2 parts and very long, but we are going to read a lot of this stuff on the side here, okay? In Wiles' view, RFK Jr.'s shock treatment of HHS is warranted. Quote, "He pushes the envelope. Some would say too far, but I say in order to get back in the middle, you have to push it too far." She's talking about Robert Felch Kennedy, the guy who likes to suck his own cum out of women's asshole. By the way, that fucking article, Olivia Nuzzi, get this. Olivia Nuzzi is the woman that RFK was cheating on his wife with. Olivia Nuzzi was engaged to a man named Ryan Lizza. That's my cousin. That's my cousin, dude. My cousin's fiance cheated on him with Robert Felch Kennedy. This is real. This is real. What the fuck? What the fuck? Let's keep on reading. All right, so now we're moving on to Stephen Miller, the Zealot. And I'd like to point out, let me see if I could find this picture of Joseph Goebbels. Joseph Goebbels, famous photo. Where is it? This one, I believe. Or is it this one? So here's a famous photo of Joseph Goebbels. Nope, they're not going to show us it. Well, here's famous photos of Joseph Goebbels. You see that? I mean, come on, guys. I mean, come on. Anyway. Stephen Miller, the Zealot. Trump's deputy chief of staff for policy and homeland security advisor is the tip of the spear for the president's weaponized roundups of immigrants and the, quote, take no prisoners approach to alleged drug smugglers. Utterly loyal and fierce protector of the president's secrets, Miller is a battle-tested soldier in Trump's war against the, quote, deep state. Trump is the deep state. Trump is the deep state, says Miller, quote, we came into the second term fully, completely ready and prepared to contend with that bureaucracy and ultimately to impose democratic will onto that bureaucracy. The most valuable gift Susie got from her dad, I don't give a shit about your dad. Dan Scavino. Again, look at this hair. This is intentional. Look at that side profile. Now check this out. Heinrich Himmler. This is all intentional shit, okay? The Nazi haircuts on the side, all of this is aesthetics. And I need you to understand that aesthetics is one of the most important parts of fascism, right? When you go back and you watch footage of like the Nuremberg rally, right? And you see giant crowds of people with perfectly torches that are perfectly spaced apart on the walls with a swastika in between each torch, and everybody is goose stepping in perfect synchronization, and they're sig heiling right on cue, and all of that is intentional with the Hugo Boss uniforms tucked into the boots and the clean Volkswagen cars and the Mercedes, like all of this is intentional, okay? Because in order to convince the populace that you are on the right side, you need to seem organized, right? Now, thank fuck that the American fascists are terrible at aesthetics, terrible at organization. You go and look at a Trump rally, it's a bunch of fucking toothless hicks going, oh yeah, deport the Muslims, man. They're like fucking spilling and disgusting, and it's gross. It's gross. They have no fucking motion. They have no aesthetics. So at least we have that when it comes to American fascism. Dan Scavino, the caddy. The Deputy Chief of Staff and Director of Presidential Personnel is a social media obsessive and veteran of Trump's first term. He's also a former golf club manager and as a teenager toted the president's clubs. This motherfucker has been a cuck for Donald Trump since he was a teenager, carrying around Donald's clubs. And you know damn well what Donald is doing to his caddies, his little teenage caddies. Don't forget, Donald Trump is gay. Donald Trump is the first gay president, okay? He has sucked dick left and right, allegedly, right? And he's also a child rapist and a sex trafficker, allegedly, right? We all know damn well what he's been fucking doing to those caddies. Anyway, when we came into office in Trump 1.0, he says, the Russia hoax kicked in right away, and it was nothing but investigation after investigation after investigation. This go-around, we came in, we won. There's no investigations. We control the House, the Senate, and the White House, and the president can focus on his policies. Scavino says Trump is relentless. My toughest challenge is honestly keeping up with the president because he is literally non-stop. He's always go. Yeah, good luck keeping up with the president because his stamina is just so crazy. He's got crazy stamina, doesn't he, Dan Scavino? Yeah, it's hard to keep up with him, isn't it? George W. Bush himself had gotten wind of the gutting of PEPFAR. He called Rubio to express alarm. According to a former aide close to Bush, quote, he's been appalled by Trump from the beginning. I think we all owe George W. Bush an apology. You know, we all thought George W. Bush was like a fucking bumbling idiot and the worst goddamn president we ever had, when in reality, like, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, he was a terrible fucking president. He got us into Iraq and Afghanistan, the longest fucking wars in American history, where we lost a whole bunch of lives. We murdered fucking millions of people. Yeah, it was terrible. But, like, at least he wasn't a fascist. At least he wasn't a complete bumbling fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? I genuinely, I wish I would take George W. Bush over Donald Trump a million times. A million times. Let's read this. Day 1, January 20th, 2025. On Trump's first day in office, the president signed a flurry of executive orders, 26 in all, withdrawing the U.S. from the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Agreement, rescinding birthright citizenship, sending troops to the southern border, freezing foreign aid, stopping federal hiring. Then Trump issued pardons to almost everyone convicted in the bloody January 6, 2021 assault on the Capitol, in which 9 people ultimately died and 150 were injured. Even rioters who had beaten cops within an inch of their lives were set free. 14 people convicted of seditious conspiracy had their sentences commuted. Let's get a look at some of these pictures. So, a picture of old friends and better times. There's Trump and Putin. What is this? A statuette of President Donald Trump sitting at the... So this is like a weird-ass photo of him. Robert Felch Kennedy departing the Oval Office. Challenge coins, which are on various displays at the White House. I don't know what a challenge coin is. Do any of you guys? What the fuck is a challenge coin? Hold on. What is a challenge coin? Excuse me. Oh, it's just like a little badge of honor, I guess. Anyway. Did she ever ask the president, wait a minute, do you really want to pardon all 1,500 January 6 convicts, or should we be more selective? I did exactly that, Wiles replied. I said, I am on board with the people who were happenstancers and didn't do anything violent, and we certainly know what everybody did because the FBI had done such an incredible job. Trump had said that his FBI investigators were corrupt and part of the deep state. But Trump argued that even the violent offenders had been unfairly treated. Wiles explained, what did that say?
Right. In every case of the ones he was looking at, in every case, they had already served more time than the sentencing guidelines would have suggested. So given that, I sort of got on board.
According to court records, many of the January 6 rioters pardoned by Trump had received sentences that were lighter than the guidelines.
There have been a couple of times where I've been outvoted, Wiles said. And if there's a tie, he wins.
In the West Wing, Wiles is surrounded by young MAGA men. She is a go-to-church every Sunday, uses a swear word very, very rarely person, said James Blair, Wiles is 36-year-old deputy chief of staff. She doesn't raise her voice, but she likes being around junkyard dogs. Indeed, Wiles had seemed content to let her pit bulls, deputy chiefs of staff Stephen Miller, Blair, and Dan Scavino, run loose as she watches.
Quote, there's the president, and there's whoever the three high-ranking people are on the sofa. And then there's a chair in the corner of the sofa, which is my chair, which means I'm the one that gets hit in the head with the boom mic.
For all the chaos in the cabinet, Wiles has kept palace intrigue and shivving to a minimum in the White House. Trump has empowered her. When Wiles weighs in, everyone knows she is speaking for him. She has in turn empowered her own team, Blair, Miller, Scavino, and Taylor Budowich, who departed in September. She's really giving fucking Dolores Umbridge. Like 100% giving Dolores Umbridge. Aw, look at him. Look at him. He's so tiny. Dude, he's so tiny and cute. Should I button up my shirt? You want me to button up my coat? You want me to button up my coat? Should I button up my coat? Do I look good if I button up my coat? Do I look strong standing next to the thermostat? No, JD, you don't. You look like a fucking baby. You look like a baby getting ready for a bar mitzvah. Who's a good little fascist? All right, let's see. Did Rubio have any regrets about the untold number of lives that PEPFAR's evisceration might cost?
No. First of all, whoever says that is just not being accurate. We are not eviscerating PEPFAR. PEPFAR has been rearranged and reorganized in such a way that we are going to now be able to deliver aid in a way that has a goal. The goal is to help countries become self-sustaining with a note of America first.
Let's begin with the premise. Is it the United States' fault? Why isn't China paying for more immunizations? Why isn't the UK or Canada or any of the G7 countries? Here's the thing. What they're talking about is like immunization programs, vaccine programs that we have all over Africa, right? That USAID was providing, right? And because of Elon Musk and Doge's illegal defunding and looting of the fucking treasury and just completely destroying USAID, there are literally tens of millions of people in Africa who are going to die. There has already been hundreds of thousands of deaths, primarily children, and it's expected between 5 and 10 million children in Africa are going to die. We left food to rot away in warehouses. We are taking away water purification programs. We are taking away vaccine programs, right? Now, here's the thing, guys. You might be saying to yourself, well, why are we paying for that stuff in the first place? It's because there are two forms of power. There is soft power and there is hard power. Hard power is something like bombing Venezuela. Hard power is something like invading Iraq. Hard power is something like bombing Iran, right? Soft power is holding out an olive branch and establishing these vaccine programs, these water purification programs, making these areas literally reliant on you and your nation's good graces in order to stay sustaining. That way you can maintain a foothold in those areas, right? So not only has Trump gotten rid of all of our soft power, which leaves a power vacuum to allow any nation that is willing to fill that seat into the area, he is also diminishing our hard power by making all of our allies abandon us. Don't forget, the United Kingdom has cut intelligence sharing with us because they're worried that they're going to share intel with us and then we're going to commit a war crime. And then when we're charged at the fucking Hague, we're going to pass the buck over to them. The UK is one of our oldest fucking allies next to France, and they're cutting intelligence sharing with us because they're horrified by our fascist dogman in the Oval Office. Anyway, why isn't China paying for more immunizations? Why isn't the UK or Canada or any of the G7 countries? The UK, following in the footsteps of the US, slashed foreign aid in 2025. In November, China, which funded the Africa CDC, pledged $3.5 million in AIDS prevention in South Africa alone. That's it, GG. No, that's literally GG for American soft power in Africa. Now it's China's. We're pulling out and China's pledging $3.5 million. Do you know what that means?
It means that everybody who is sick or dying in Africa that ends up getting their life saved by some sort of vaccine, they're not going to have America to thank. They're going to have China to thank. Glory to our supreme leader. Glory to the supreme leader, Mao Zedong. That's not Mao Zedong. Hold on. That's not Mao Zedong. That's Hassan fucking Piker. Glory to our supreme leader, Mao Zedong. 我们去郑州里去欣赏，哭进来要走个老就有。I'm not going to sing the rest of that, but I am a Chinese spy. That is a joke, Mr. FBI agent. Anyway. We got another quote here. So for Trump, Wiles has helped pick cabinet members. Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, John Ratcliffe, Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, Kristi Noem. Wiles calls them a world-class cabinet, better than anything I could have conceived of. Quote, it was a horrific hour plus at midnight, Wiles said of an interaction with Trump in 2016. And I don't think I've ever seen him that angry since. He was ranting and raving, and I didn't know whether to argue back or whether to be stoic. What I really wanted to do was cry. I just wanted to cry. Oh, we got the Jewish Nazi, Stephen Miller. You know what's funny is these fucking losers sat down and posed and tried to look tough, and they probably thought that they were gonna be like enshrined in history with these photos as like a group of brave American warriors, the second founding fathers, and the entire fucking country is just laughing at them because these photos are so horrendous, dude. I'm a bit of an expert in big personalities. Wiles said Trump has an alcoholic's personality. Jesus fucking Christ. The question around Wiles' tenure under Trump has been whether she will do anything to restrain him. A better question is, does she want to? Is that Dan Scavino? Probably. I don't think there's anybody in the world right now that could do a better job than she's doing. So we're talking about ICE here. It says that critics denounce the deployments as unconstitutional, performative, and ineffective. I say categorically it is false. It will not happen. It's just wrong-headed. Do you understand where people who think that are coming from? I do a little bit, but not fully. I mean, I think they hate the president. They think he's too wrapped up in what happened in 2020. Yeah, well, this is because the entire White House regime is disobeying federal court orders and even Supreme Court orders. All right, let's move on to part 2 here. Part 2. Pete Hegseth's war tactics, retribution, and more. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is Caroline No Lip Levitt. I would like to remind you that she is 28 years old. I also know a lot of leftists out there are like, I'm too good for insulting looks. I'm not. This bitch is fucking hideous, bro. This is exactly what happens when you let hate control your entire heart. That is the roughest 28 I have ever seen in my life, and this whole Mar-a-Lago face shit needs to go. Look at all of the needle marks on her fucking face. Look at the crow's feet, dude. Look at the caked on makeup. This is disgusting. Caroline Levitt, the mouthpiece. Yeah, more like the cock holster. The combative White House press secretary fields questions from the press corps with all the subtlety of a Rottweiler. Jesus Christ. Wiles calls, yeah, no, she's 28. She's younger than me. Wiles calls her a, quote, scary good communicator, right up there with New York Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani. Dio dame la serenità di eccitare, le cose che non posso cambiare, il coraggio di cambiare, il posso discorso, e la saggezza di capire la differenza, in nome di Padre e Figlio e Spirito Santo. Don't you ever fucking say something as disgraceful as that again. Don't you ever fucking say something disgraceful like that again. Don't you ever compare Zoran Kwame Mamdani, the Lisan al-Gaib of the Mamdanistan Caliphate, to Caroline No Lip Levitt. Get the fuck out of here. The president doesn't give a crap if you're a man or a woman. Yeah, he'll molest you either way, Levitt says. He just wants you to be good at your job. No, he doesn't. He wants you to be loyal. That's all she fucking cares. That's all he cares about. He just wants you to be good at your job. How's she faring in the onslaught of questions about the Epstein files after Trump's about face? It's pretty clear that he wants us to be aggressively offensive when it comes to this issue. Yeah, because he's a dog caught in a corner. And a dog caught in a corner only has one option. Fight. He's just going the offense. He has no defense left. He has literally no defense left. And I'd like to point out that Friday is the very last day that the government is allowed to be holding the Epstein files. They have to release him. And coincidentally, tonight at around 6:30 to 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard, Donald Trump is going to be addressing the nation. It's very strange. It's out of place. I'll tell you what's going to happen. He's declaring war on Venezuela. He'll literally declare war in order to prevent the release of the Epstein files. Granted, that's not the only reason. We also want the oil. We know that Israel is about to attack Iran again, and then Iran is going to annex the Strait of Hormuz. We're not going to have reliable oil flow from the Middle East. It's a whole bunch of things. But Trump is literally willing to send your son and daughter to fucking die in a foreign jungle in order to prevent the release of the Epstein files. Okay? Not far from where we sat was a gaping hole. Is that it? Where the East Wing had just been days before. I asked her about her fierce criticism that followed its demolition to make way for Trump's 90,000 square foot ballroom. They spelt ball wrong. Ballroom. It's supposed to be B-A-H-L because beneath that little dance floor is the ballroom, the summoning pit. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's for ball. Anyway, that was a stupid joke. Let's see. Were you surprised? No, Wiles replied. Oh, no. And I think you'll have to judge it by its totality, because you only know a little bit of what he's planning. What is he planning? What is he planning? Anyway. Would you declassify the Epstein files? Yeah, I think I would. Nope. What about accusing Letitia James of mortgage fraud? Well, that might be the one retribution. Wiles told me, so they're talking about Epstein here. Wiles told me she underestimated the potency of the scandal. Whether he was an American CIA asset, a Mossad asset, whether all these rich, important men went to that nasty island, did unforgivable things to young girls. I mean, I kind of knew it, but it's never anything I paid a bit of attention to. Resign in disgrace. Resign in disgrace. You're telling me and the American people that we shouldn't care about a global sex trafficking cabal of the world's elite? I've been molested before. Tell me to my fucking face that I should move on and not care. See what the fuck happens, okay? Disgusting rat people. Marco Rubio, the Hawk. A double threat. Both Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, the first since Henry fucking Kissinger. Rubio takes a hard line against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and a softer line against Russian President Vladimir Putin. Infer what you will from the gator skull he keeps on display. He keeps a gator skull on display? Marco Rubio keeps a fucking gator skull on display? Dude, his soul is gone. Look at him. He's a sad, sad man. His soul is gone. He genuinely went down into the summoning pit and handed his soul to Moloch, the owl lord of the sixth circle of hell. This is insane. Infer what you will from the gator skull he keeps on display. I think the president is losing his patience through the process, Rubio says, of administration talks with Putin to end the Ukraine war. He's given Putin every opportunity to get to yes, but so far Putin has not taken that. Yeah, because Putin doesn't respect Donald Trump. Nobody respects Donald Trump. Why the fuck would anybody do what Donald Trump tells you to say? Like, here's the thing. I fucking hate Vladimir Putin. I hate these Russian dogs that are invading Ukraine. But also, why the fuck would they listen to Donald? They have the upper hand. Why would they quit now? It's fucking, like, it makes no sense. If you want the Russians to lose, make them hurt. Don't just bend the fucking knee and literally have our American soldiers on their hands and knees rolling out a red carpet for him. It's fucking disgusting. Sometimes he laments, you know, gosh, I feel like we're doing really well. I wish I could run again, Wiles said of Trump. And then he immediately says, not really, as he's testing the waters. He's testing the waters. Will the president sit in for a deposition on that process? I mean, if he had to, she said. James Blair, the Bulldog. I've never heard of this guy. James Blair, the Bulldog, the 36-year-old White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Legislative, Political, and Public Affairs, is one of Wiles' favorite junkyard dogs. Blair says Trump's genius is being able to simplify, like don't use a $10 word when a $2 word will do. That's not his genius. That's his fucking dementia, dude. He is a real talent for just cutting through all the bullshit and the clutter and getting down to brass tacks. Staring down a possible GOP shellacking in the 2026 midterms, Blair says the Epstein scandal is one of the big threats, but he's, quote, more worried about making sure people are feeling economically better a year from now. Well, that's not going to happen because Donald Trump says that affordability is a Democrat hoax. He literally says that everybody is rich, nobody is suffering, the economy gets an A++++++, and there's no such thing as unaffordability. He literally says that shit. Let's see, because even if Epstein were perfect, but they don't feel good about economics, we're fucked. Well, you're fucked regardless, dude, because you guys are the worst regime in American fucking history, bar none. What about Trump's increasingly frequent verbal attacks on women? He's a counterpuncher, and increasingly in our society, the punchers are women. Wow, you're a fucking piece of shit. Holy fuck. Wow, you're a fucking piece of shit. He called a reporter piggy for literally asking him a question. What punch did she give? What the fuck is the matter with you? All right, so now we're talking about the U.S. military to kill everybody in a strike. Let's see. Hegseth said an admiral was responsible for the second strike. Yeah. Drug smuggling, I pointed to Wiles, is not a death penalty offense, even if the president wishes it were. Wiles' bookshelf, including a replica FIFA trophy and some Wicked Witch imagery, a Marine stand sentry, flag from J.D. Vance's inauguration, doorknobs. No, it's not. I'm not saying that it is. I'm saying that this is a war on drugs. It's unlike anything we've seen, but that's what this is. Obviously, it's a war declared only by the president without congressional approval. Don't need it yet. Wow. Democracy is fucking dead. We're very sure we know who we're blowing up. No, you're not. One of the great untold stories of the U.S. government is the talents of the CIA, and there have been many an interest in going inside territorial waters, which we have permission to do, because they're skirting the coastline to avoid getting caught. But Wiles conceded that attacking targets on Venezuela's mainland would force Trump to get congressional approval. If he were to authorize some activity on land, then it's war. Then we'd need Congress. But Marco and JD, to some extent, are up to the hill every day briefing. And that's what's going to happen tonight. Trump is going to declare war on Venezuela and seek congressional approval. He probably will get that congressional approval because all Democrat politicians are just doormats for the alt-right. Like literally Hakeem Jeffries, Apex Shakur, and Cuck Schumer, they will never care about you. They will never stand in the way. They do not give a fuck. They will benefit off of this war and they will allow it to happen. In December, when asked about Trump's falling asleep in cabinet meetings, Wiles said, he's not asleep. He's got his eyes closed and his head leaned back, and you know he's fine. Wow. Wow. Don't believe your lying eyes, right, guys? Don't believe your lying eyes. And there she is, No Lip Levitt, the cunt of the Oval. Trump's team was divided on whether Putin's goal... Let's see, fuck that. Will Marco Rubio challenge Vance for the top spot? If J.D. Vance runs for president, he's going to be our nominee, and I'll be one of the first people to support him. In Wiles' office is a photograph of Trump and Vladimir Putin standing together, signed by Trump. To Susie, you are the greatest. Donald. Will the president sit in for a deposition in his Jeffrey Epstein-related suit against Wall Street Journal? I mean, if he had to. All right, now we got some quotes here. Will the president run for a third term? No, but he sure is having fun with it. He knows it's driving people crazy, so that's why he talks about it? Yeah, 100%. Would you say categorically no, that the 22nd Amendment rules out a third term? I do, yeah, and I'm not a lawyer, but based on my reading of it, it's pretty unequivocal. And he has told you so? He has told you that in so many words? Oh, yeah, a couple of times, yeah. Unbelievable. Is that little Marco looking for his dick again? Is that a fucking gator skull? God, he's such a loser. Wiles said that neither she nor Trump had been consulted about Ghislaine Maxwell's transfer to a less restrictive facility after Blanche's visit. The president was ticked. No, he allowed that. There is no evidence that Bill Clinton visited Epstein's island. According to Wiles, as for whether there was anything incriminating about Clinton in the files, the president was wrong about that. So there's no evidence that Bill Clinton went to Epstein's island, but there is evidence that Donald Trump did. I think it's bullshit. I think both of them went to that fucking island. Wiles said that Trump was on Epstein's plane. He's on the manifest. They were, you know, sort of a young single whatever. I know it's passé word, but sort of a young single playboys together. They literally shared a girlfriend in their sex trafficking ring. Jesus Christ. Is Trump planning more undisclosed White House renovations? I'm not telling. That's a yes. Insane. Insane. That's the whole article for you. And then, as we know, we had Caroline Leavitt's reaction.
and a groundswell of support from people on Capitol Hill who don't even work in this building about how incredible Susie Wiles has been to President Trump. And he's been able to accomplish so much because of his leadership and his tenacity, but also because of Chief of Staff Wiles's leadership and her ability to effectuate his agenda. So thank you.
Yeah, Susie Wiles, you're gonna get fucking fired, just so you know. You're absolutely gonna get fucking fired. He's gonna lash out and blame you. Anyway, that's what I got for you. That's the Vanity Fair article. It is absolutely brutal. The pictures are even more fucking brutal. And yeah, hey, listen, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to be live tonight around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to watch Trump's declaration of war on Venezuela. I hope I'm wrong. I'm usually right. But we're going to be watching that live. So make sure you hit that notification bell for real so that you can be notified when we go live. We're going to probably go live 20 minutes early or some shit. Other than that, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you absolutely nothing to do that, and it helps me out immensely. If you do want to support the channel financially, please do. Every dollar goes a long way. This is what real independent media looks like, okay? I love you. If you're here live, you stay. We got to keep going. If you're watching this pre-recorded, do me one last favor. Click that video right over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers. Hell fucking yeah. Hell fucking yeah. Hell fucking yeah. We're gonna need Caroline Levitt new picture lips Vanity Fair. I have an idea. We're going to save that photo. Episode 329. Did you guys like that? You guys have a good time? Episode. You guys like that? Hell fucking yeah. Save that one. I want this one too. And gotta be one more. There's gotta be one more. Remember to pin a comment about going live. Okay, I'll do that. Canva. Oh, my stomach hurts like hell. I gotta eat when I'm done here. Wait, what happened to my uploads? What the fuck? Oh, there they are. Okay. Yeah, eat, Chris. I am. I'm gonna get this uploaded and then I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna eat. You guys like that? Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. Look at that, dude. Look at that. Do you guys like that? I think that's fucking goated. Is that not fucking goated? Looks real, doesn't it? Looks fucking real. That's fucking great, dude. That shit looks real. Okay. Okay. The Burger Reich. The Burger Reich. Yep. Yep. So that's one. The Puppet Masters. And then seven. Deadly Sinners. The Puppet Masters. The Seven Deadly Sinners. Oh, spell out seven? Okay, you're right. All right, the Puppet Masters, the Seven Deadly Sinners, and the Burger Reich. Okay, title. Inside Trump's cabinet. The truth. Inside Trump's cabinet. He's drunk on power. He's a conspiracy theorist. Inside Trump's cabinet. He's drunk on power. Hold on. Inside Trump's cabinet. He's drunk on power. Chris, you think there's still hope there will not be a war? No, dude, we're going to war. You live in the United States of America, brother. War is what drives our economy. Our economy is crashing. We need a new war in order to funnel that money into the economy. Inside Trump's cabinet, the truth always comes out. Is that a good title? Inside Trump's cabinet, the truth always comes out. All right, that's good. Deep dive into Vanity Fair's latest scathing article about the fascists in the White House. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Valenti VOD. I'm your All right, that's up and running. Let's make an advertisement, and then I'm going to hop off. So Vanity Fair has this scathing article they just released with some of the worst pictures of Trump's cabinet that I have ever fucking seen. I'm sure you've seen the pictures of No Lip Levitt and the needle injections and little Marco Rubio staring down at where his penis used to be. They're heinous photos. There's one fat dude who's got Himmler's haircut. We got the Jewish Nazi Stephen Miller just looking like Joseph Goebbels. It's an insane fucking article where Susie Wiles, I'm pretty sure the chief of staff for Donald Trump, quite literally says that he is drunk on power. J.D. Vance is a conspiracy theorist, far-right groiper. Stephen Miller's a fucking Nazi. Like, dude, straight up, this woman's gonna lose her job. And it doesn't make any sense because she's also, like, on Trump's side in this article. She's like, yeah, no, he's great. It's just that, people around him are fucking psychos. Not me, though. I'm no psycho. I covered this entire thing on YouTube. It's a 2-part article. Locked me on a paywall. I bought the article, so you can go check out my YouTube video if you want to see some coverage on it. I highly recommend you all read that fucking article and look up all of these pictures because the White House is panicking. We all know that No Lip Levitt was probably crying in the car when she saw that picture blasted out of her because can you believe she's 28? She's the same fucking age as me. She looks 65 minimum. Anyway, go check it out. New YouTube video. If you're triggered by my content, cope, mauled, seethe, duet, stitch, comment. Let me know you're triggered. I love getting you fucking triggered. So, yeah, new YouTube video. I'll also be live tonight around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard to watch Trump address the nation where he's most likely going to declare war on Venezuela. So, yeah, I'm right. You're wrong. If you disagree with me, you're fucking stupid. So, Vanity Fair has this scathing article they just cabinet that I'm sure you've seen the pictures of No Lip actions and little Marco Rubio staring down at where his penis. Okay, and post. I have not watched Heated Rivalry yet, but I probably will now that I just finished Welcome to Derry.
Dude, Welcome to Derry is so good. It's just Stranger Things if it was good, you know? Welcome to Derry is just Stranger Things if it was a good show and didn't cater to the dumbest people in our fucking nation. Okay. That's on TikTok. Let's get it on YouTube Shorts. I gotta watch the new episode of Fallout. I've gotta watch the new episode of Fallout. Get that uploaded here. I didn't have high hopes on it. Dude, every episode of Derry gets better and better. It's actually fucking incredible. I don't understand how they do it, but every single episode gets better and better. Wild. Stranger Things has some cool monsters. Stranger Things was good when the kids were kids. Now that they're not kids anymore, it's fucking cringy. Guys, Millie Bobby Brown has a child. She has a child, and she's playing a child. New episode of the Vanity VOD. Upload short. Let's get this uploaded on Instagram now. Children have children all the time. I guess you're right. All right. Chris, quick link for you. Let me see. You think he's gonna make it to 2028? You out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your mind? Children have children all the time. Otherwise, Jeffrey Epstein wouldn't be attracted to them. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Ew. All right, what time is Trump's speech today? The speech will air live at 9 p.m. What time? Eastern. Okay. So Trump is going to give his speech at 9 p.m. So I will go live at 8:30, okay? Let's just see if we could find his post here. Hold on. Shit, he's right here. Why did Brown University have so few security cameras? He's wrong and he's right. There were 8,000 security cameras at Brown University. There is not 1 second of footage of this shooting. That's real. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me, but that is real. That is real. No, I'm kidding. But that is real. That is real. Venezuela is completely surrounded by the largest armada ever assembled in the history of South America. It will only get bigger, and the shock to them will be like nothing they have ever seen before. Until such time as they return to the United States of America all of the oil, land, and other assets that they previously stole from us. Whoa. Whoa. What? Are you claiming Venezuela belongs to us? Yo, he's absolutely declaring war. That is fucking crazy. That is fucking crazy. Until such time as they return to the United States of America all of the oil, land, and other assets that... Do you... Bro, my neighbor's throwing a banger. Do you guys hear that?
Do you guys fucking hear that? Do you think this is how they're fighting back? Do you guys think this is how they fight back against me being so unbelievably loud every day? That's fucking nuts. Anyway, let's get back to reading. All right. Until such time as they return to the United States of America all of the oil, land, and other assets that they previously stole from us, the illegitimate Maduro regime is using oil from these stolen oil fields to finance themselves, drug terrorism, human trafficking, murder, and kidnapping. For the theft of our assets and many other reasons, including terrorism, drug smuggling, and human trafficking, the Venezuelan regime has been designated as a foreign terrorist organization. Therefore, today I am ordering a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela. The illegal aliens and criminals that the Maduro regime has sent into the United States during the weak and inept Biden administration are being returned to Venezuela at a rapid pace. America will not allow criminal terrorists or other countries to rob, threaten, or harm our nation, and likewise will not allow a hostile regime to take our oil, land, or any other assets, all of which must be returned to the United States immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States. All right, so that's fucking nuts. I want to see his announcement for his speech. Here it is. My fellow Americans, I will be giving an address to the nation tomorrow night live from the White House at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. I look forward to seeing you then. It has been a great year for our country, and the best is yet to come. President Donald J. Trump. All right, so 9 p.m. Yo, we're going to war. We're going to war. We're going to war. If you got young family members in the military, prepare them. They are going to Venezuela. They will die there. Get them ready to abandon ship. Get them ready to be dishonorably discharged and refuse these fucking orders, because your cousins are going to die in a foreign jungle because Donald Trump wants their oil. Spoiler alert. The United States of America has not won a war since World War II, and we barely fucking participated in it. It's an irrefutable fact. That is an irrefutable fact. We fucking suck at combat. We're dog shit. We're fucking dog shit. All right. That's it for the stream, guys. I'm out of here. I gotta eat. Thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti broadcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Did you use my additional links? No. I'm out of here. Thank you very much. Have a good one. I love you. And I'll see you tonight at 8:30 p.m. Hit that notification bell so you know that I'm live, okay? I will see you tonight at 8:30 p.m., okay? Una mattina mi sono alzato, un bello ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono alzato, ho trovato l'invasor. Oh partigiano, portami via, un bello ciao, ciao. Partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morir. All right, later, guys.